Yo, 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 yo. What up, YouTube? Topaz Yates back with another live from the underground, man. And here we go in on particular topics that's going on in the music industry. And today, wanted to touch on a bunch of ones. You feel me? There's a bunch of stuff going on. I'm like, why not? But let's all start from this. The headline thing that's being spoken about right now is Joyner Lucus going in, flaming up MGK. Machine Gun Kelly, for those of you who don't know. Joyner Lucus is ultimately seeing this and is getting frustrated because he sees the numbers that as an independent artist, he's just below, say, Tech 9, but he can't get a headlining status on an act on festivals like Lollapalooza and other ones. And what do I say to that, brother? Welcome to the underground. Welcome to being independent. Bruh, you new to this? They don't care about how successful you build yourself out to be if you don't have the mainstream backing. Now, the thing that individuals like Joyner Lucus and other artists really don't see about it is it's more business than anything. It's not so much that you're better than Machine Gun Kelly, which is quite honestly questionable. Machine Gun Kelly has done some good stuff before in the past, and so has Joyner Lucus, but I've never looked at them as direct competitors or anything like that, but it's questionable to see who actually is better out of these individuals. But I can tell you specifically why you are not on the marquee, why your name is under other acts that you deem you are better than. See, the reason why certain acts are always going to be on the marquee is because they got the major label backing. Major labels are the ones who sponsor and pay for all of this stuff for these festivals to even happen. Do you understand how much it costs to get all of these acts back to back to back to back to be part of a festival? On top of buying the land, you ain't gotta buy the land, but you gotta rent the property where the land is going to be for the festival for all of these days. You got to have the police out there to make sure nothing bad goes on, and that's getting worse looking at what happened with Travis Scott out there. You have to have staff. You have to have so much stuff that it costs so much to put on one of these festivals. That's why the prices are out of control, one. That's why individual acts are getting promoted in there, because the labels, the people who back these things so that they can actually happen, they're the ones who's like, okay, we'll put the money to promote, yeah, you gotta have promotional dollars on this too, but we'll throw in the money to promote, we'll throw in the money to make sure that this whole thing happens, and in exchange, all artists that have something that we want to drop, they're the ones who's headlining, right? These people in these festivals, they're not in no position to say no. These people are like, okay, that's cool. We got you. Anybody that you want, they can headline. Just cut us the check so we can put on our festival because it's so big and it costs too much for us to maintain on our own without sponsorship dollars. This is why you will never be headlining Joyner Lucus. This is something that all underground acts just really got to understand. Now, I do believe that this is a great discussion to have. Like, honestly, if there's going to be a change, there needs to be a starting point, and this is not a bad one per se, but yet individuals just need to understand that you don't have a leg to walk on in this. Festivals, as we know them, are way too entrenched with the big time dollars from major record labels for there to ever be any change. But does this mean that Joyner Lucus can't join forces with, say, a Tech 9, who he shouted out, and other independent labels like, say, a Top Dog? And yes, there are acts within Top Dog Entertainment that deal directly with major labels because they deal as a mid-major where they sign acts and then they let these acts go and get their deals through Interscope, through whatever record label that wants to pay them. Yes, but as a whole, Top Dog is an independent record label. You dig, to a degree. So there's nothing that says Joyner Lucus can't team up with Tech Nine and Top Dog to create their own festival that put on their own music acts that they feel as though are respected amongst their peers. Nothing says that you can't do that. But because you want to go and get that festival money that's only being provided to you because these major record labels are putting forth the money to do it in exchange for a Machine Gun Kelly to headline. How can you really complain? Why would anyone take you serious? You understand? Why would anyone take Joyner Lucus serious at this point when you're just begging to get put on in their whole festivals that's provided by their money? Nothing's going to change if you're going to go about it like this. You just complaining to nobody. But let me give you the exact reason why MGK is catching fury and why MGK is the headlining act. See, MGK is catching fury here because, one, Joyner Lucus considers Eminem to be his friend, and Eminem flamed up MGK a while ago. So much so that MGK, Machine Gun Kelly, wanted to celebrate with champagne for actually provoking Eminem to diss him, thinking that was going to make his career. Did it though? As we see, the reason why he's headlining, it isn't in rap. It isn't because, Eminem's diss towards him went the way that he thought it would. It didn't. Another reason why he's getting ethered here would be a whole bunch of these questionable images that he's been dropping, all in which are like tied to him believing that he hit it out. He's swinging above his weight class. He hit a home run by getting with Megan Fox. Somebody who borderline had no other options after pretty much getting ran through like movie directors and stuff. But I mean, allegedly, supposedly, I don't know for a fact, but I do know that she was in a bunch of movies that, she didn't have the best acting skill set to be in. And it just so happened that she was dating the directors, more than one. But because he feels as though he bagged Megan Fox, he's been feeling himself to the degree that he's been putting out a whole bunch of these crazy images, thinking that he's amazing, getting married to her and all of this stuff, which, whatever. But when you do all of this stuff, you realize you get a lack of respect from your peers, right? If that's what we're going to consider Machine Gun Kelly being a peer to hip-hop acts anymore. Like, this ultimately made him more of a target than collateral damage at this point. But here's the thing. I do feel Joyner Lucus to a degree because he hasn't had a hit rap record or a hit record in years to be deserving that kind of slot over, say, a Coi Leray, over, say, a Big Sean, over, say, a Denzel Curry, or yes, even Joyner Lucus. All of these people that are going to be within Lollapalooza who are not headlining. Machine Gun Kelly is headlining. But why is he? Because he signed to Bad Boy Interscope. A lot of people don't know that. But he signed as a rock act that just dropped a new single. Well, I don't know exactly when he dropped the single, but the single is called Let You Go. They're trying to push and promote that and promote him as a rock act, just like how Yelawolf is promoting himself as a rock act. These individuals have left hip hop, and with the major label backing, they can go ahead and push to be to the forefront of these festivals like Lollapalooza. They're trying to get his rock career off the ground. This is all business. And as I listen to that song, like, this is not my genre, but I've heard worse. You feel me? It's not a horrible song, but I don't think that it's like a hit record. Nothing along those lines. You dig? But for Joyner Lucus to be going after Machine Gun Kelly like this, Machine Gun Kelly ain't got nothing to do with it. It's not like he finessed his way to the top. No, it's the record labels who financed these festivals that's putting him there because they're trying to push him as a rock act. It's business. But for you to be going in this direction, you can see that you're going to ultimately like blackball yourself. Well, I mean, you're independent, so you can say and do whatever you want to. I'm cool with that. But for you to think that you're going to knock off Machine Gun Kelly to get to that top slot by coming out and talking about him, no. You're ultimately going, the only thing that's going to come from this is you blackballing yourself, because they want to push him so badly because they invested money into him. But you can't see it because you're not thinking about the business, Joyner Lucus. You're not thinking that this is business at all. You're thinking that this is based on talent. You're thinking that this is based on rap too. Like, no, rap really ain't got much to do with this no more. Like, all of your flames, all of your text message, all of your Twitter posts and all this stuff, it's going to fall on deaf ears. You better hope it falls on deaf ears, because if it doesn't, then it's all going to be blowback. Everybody is going to be hating on you. It may, there's no such thing as bad promotion, I guess, but they're going to put forth their powers to destroy you if they feel as though you're in the way, or they're just going to disregard you. That's how this plays out. So even though I feel you to a degree, Joyner Lucus, understand that this is a business move and you need to be starting your own festivals if you want to be headlining it. You need to be teaming up with independent acts like a Top Dog or a Tech 9, these independent acts that can go and get some backing from record labels so that you can have the complete financing to put on your own festivals, to bring out your own people, to do it the right way so that, you know, you won't get Travis Scott if anything bad happens. You feel me? That people, they try to sue him for millions of dollars or take all of his money because something bad happened at a festival that was honestly put together by the labels, that had security and all that stuff done by the labels and the police and all of that, when they should have been the ones held accountable more than, say, a Travis Scott. But this is how the game is. Welcome to the underground, brother. We welcome you, but it's time for you to begin to think. But talking about festivals, Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez came out with a petition today. Have you guys heard of that? He got the Keep All Black Men in Festivals Like Coachella petition. Black men. Really. He's going there. Let me read you exactly what he said here. These are quotes. We are watching the industry and fake cancel culture remove all legendary black men, black celebrities and black moguls from festivals, from our culture, from our lives. These are true facts, but let's continue. We must make a change so we can keep our black men thriving. Black men thriving. We stood for equal rights of black men 2 years ago with George Floyd. Oh, now you want to talk about George Floyd? Huh? Really? Okay. What changed from then to now? This is continuation of the quotations. In regards of the protection of black men, don't let them use our personal life situations. What's in your personal life situation, Tory Lanez, that's bringing this out? Huh? To make fake stories that have been misconstrued to hinder and taint all legacies. Tory Lanez has no shame, bro. He has no shame at all. Yo, stand for us. We are the backbone of the culture. If we lose this fight, we lose the head of the same culture that we have known and loved and owned for the last 2,000 years. Really? Oh, you blacking it all the way up, ain't you, Tory Lanez? See, the black man needs to be protected in capitals. The first step is protecting our culture. Help us. I'm not denying what he's saying to be true. These are facts. What I am saying, look at the source. Look at what he has consistently done over his career to try to build off of black people. You feel me? You mean the guy who tried to build an outrage about a director trying to replace a dark-skinned black woman in his video. But yet that dark-skinned black woman came out and proved it to be false. Pretty much he was using black movements of, okay, you're not going to deny dark-skinned individuals the same things that you're giving light-skinned individuals, using that movement in order to use for his own gain. You feel me? This was proven. Look it up. You mean an immigrant of Dutch and Barbadian descent from Canada is now all of a sudden super cool with black men claiming our culture. You mean the guy who would not call out Justin Bieber for him making songs singing with the N-word in them to his white friends, only to his white friends? He wouldn't call out Justin Bieber though. No, you think we forgot? So as much as you want to, show your support to Shakari, let's remember why he's doing all of this. Why is he trying to rally back black men behind this? Why is he trying to stand to the forefront? Is it because you in trouble? You still haven't proven that you haven't shot Megan Thee Stallion in her foot? Why is it these individuals, man, as soon as they get in trouble, they about to go to jail or something, then, the chips is down, they pull the Justice Smollett, the Juicy. Well, did you guys see the court, him in court, pretty much, he's not calling out the LGB community no more. He's sounding a lot like Malcolm X. Talking about, when they stop answering the phone calls, then, I gotta rally up black support, because that's the only people that's going to support me here. Nah, fam, it's too late. You had ample occasions over your entire career to actually support and do things for the black community, but it's only when you in the crosshairs of cancel culture, you about to get deported from the United States back to Canada, when you might see some acted against you, that's when you want to come out like you black. Nah, fam. Nah, we are not with that. Not at all. Not at all. Like, you can go ahead and get sent back to Canada, fam. And I love Tory Lanez's music. I was a staunch supporter when he was underground, before he decided, okay, in order to go into the mainstream and be as successful as I want to be, they telling me I gotta be like Drake, so I'm gonna go ahead and be like Drake. Before he did that, I was there like, yo, Tory Lanez is going to be a super successful industry act. I still like the diss song that he just came out. I really like that diss song. I like his music. But I can recognize an individual who be scamming, who came up, like in his own music, he talks about, you know, when he was down on the bottom, he had to go into the scamming route and all that stuff. He keeps that same mentality. He's trying to scam foundational black Americans to rally behind him. But yet when he's up, when he's good, oh, trust and believe me, he's not going to tone down. He's not going to call out a Justin Bieber for his obvious racism. No, he's not going to do that. No. He's only black when it's convenient for him to be black. And the whole foundational black American movement that's happening right now, nah. Individuals like this, you can hold your own nuts. You can go get deported. Sign your own petition. Petitions don't do anything in America anyway. Sign your own petition. Say whatever you want to say, but we are not going to rally behind you because you never supported us when you were up. But now that you down, you want to come back to us. We not going to be sitting here helping these people like this no more, man. Nah. Hold your own L. Just take the L and ride out. You not one of us, bruh. And this is coming from a fan who love your music. This is coming from somebody who actually would like to continue to hear more of your music because I know it's going to come. Like, when you get deported, then it ain't like there ain't no music studios in Canada. Ain't like there ain't no music studio, ain't like you can't make music wherever you want to go, to the Barbados or wherever you want to go. Won't matter. You can still drop music. We still gonna hear it everywhere. It's just you won't be here. Why? Maybe if you actually used your fame, your stardom when it was at its best, maybe if you wouldn't have rallied behind somebody who slandered black people, being racist against black people, maybe if you considered yourself to be black before all of this bad stuff happened to you. And I mean, again, we still don't know exactly everything that happened between him and Megan Thee Stallion, but if Megan Thee Stallion says that this is the person who shot me, I'm running with that until proven otherwise. And I'm not saying that Megan is like some angel or anything like that. She, just like how, like when Rihanna got beat up by Chris Brown, I'm sure she's slick at the mouth. I'm sure she had something to do with it too. Just like I'm sure Megan Thee Stallion, who many people are saying she's super slick too. Especially when she gets off that alcohol. Many people, many stories have been coming out. But I'ma ride with her before I ride with you. Because she is, by blood, one of us. From here, foundational black American. You not. And when the chips are down, you prove, Tory Lanez, that you are not, when the chips are up, you prove, Tory Lanez, that you are not for us. We have not seen that yet with Megan Thee Stallion. So I'm riding with Megan, fam. Even though I like your music way more than Megan's. It is what it is. But let's go ahead to the next topic that I wanted to go ahead and talk about. And this is Latto saying, you know, she couldn't get an artist feature because he was in the DM demanding sex. Something that is completely not new to the game. Honestly, this is an open secret that has been super consistent, but yet people are just now hearing about it for some odd apparent reason. And she first came out with this on Big Boy. I wish I could have spent the whole day making a Live from the Underground about that, but yet I was busy with some things in my life at that particular time. But now I'm going to backtrack on it because now she's clarifying it on other interviews too. Like she just did an interview on The Breakfast Club where she's trying to clarify it on some, I'm not here to raise anybody's kids type stuff. She doesn't really like how it came out. Like she wish she would have did it a little better than just saying it in an interview. Like she's just speaking her truth, as Charlamagne said, but she wish she didn't say it that way because clearly this person has some industry clout and there's going to be blowback not only in the industry but through fans of individuals of the names that are on the playlist that she has on the upcoming album. People are going to come out, be defensive. People are going to come out like, your content says otherwise of what you would do to get put on in the game. Like people on social media, like she said, oh, they trying to silence me and all that. Like, no, but you're going to have to face up to all the angles to it when you come out along these lines. Because people are really pointing the fingers saying that this is Kodak Black. Why? Because he has a history of this, and I do agree that sounds like something Kodak Black would do now, doesn't it? As it's been posted and recirculated all along Twitter, how he's saying, in quotes, all this ish happened behind the scenes. Basically, I told, he's talking to Miami and Dream Doll, that y'all got to go ahead and let me smash because y'all music is a little trash. What about me? What about Yak? Oh, such lame. I mean, he's so lame, dude. Like, individuals who have to use the clout within the music industry in order to get gratification from women, that shows you how lame they actually are. You feel me? I am not here to stand on and say that is cool or right or anything like that. I feel you, Latto. You shouldn't, Latto to Miami to Dream Doll and all of them, man, you should not have to do anything for these dudes in order to get a feature because they so lame that they can't get it just by being who they like, dude. Me, as a no-name individual, I get chicks throwing it at me a lot. You feel me? Why? Because I treat myself in a certain way. I have my own attitude. I'm not focused on none of these chicks. I'm out here doing what I need to do so that I can be super successful. I don't need to smash any of these chicks, especially until I get to the calibers of women that I really, really want. I'm not gonna be sitting here begging and using my status against no woman. Cause I'm not lame. I can get sex wherever I want to get it. It's clear as day. Women want a dude that's bout their own. That's a real man out here that's not begging and crying and using things against them to get gratification, fam. That's not how actual men operate. But as Latto said, as they said in the interview for the Breakfast Club, there's like, oh man, that doesn't ever happen to male artists or anything like that. Says who? You clearly didn't follow the whole Isaiah Rashad things that happened recently. With, as I said, and I am on wax. I'm on the internet saying it specifically. That video that got released of Isaiah Rashad, that was the blackmailing video in order to keep him in line. In order for him to get his record deal, he needed to do that video. How do we know this? When was the last time anyone did any kind of tape like this and shouted out somebody specifically? somebody who's not there. You only see shout outs in, say, a Triple X video where they're shouting out somebody who put it together so that they can be part of that brand, so that that tape, they can be sold on that tape, so that they can go ahead and push it. You feel me? That's the only time that that happens. Clearly, this was a video where somebody demanded that from Isaiah Rashad in order for him to get put on in deal, and he went along for it. So for you to say that this is just a female issue, no. Don't you understand the entertainment business is ran by the quote unquote gay mafia? And we're talking not only music, we're talking movies, we're talking entertainment all the way around. This is something that people don't understand. This doesn't just happen to you, Latto. This happens to artists as a whole, and those who don't go to this are the ones who you hardly ever hear about. I think that gets undervalued out here. I think people really forget this, that the whole entertainment field, going from the whole Me Too thing with Weinstein. There's a Weinstein in every level of this. And Weinstein just so happened did it to the female actors. But yet there are LGBT Weinsteins out there in control of music labels that won't put you on unless you do certain things for them first. You understand? So, I mean, and I am all for, you know, people, artists speaking out against this, calling it out for what it is, because the game needs to be more about business. I'm in support of that, Latto. The game needs to be about business. People need to go out here, get this money, and be successful, and whatever relationships happen, they happen. You feel me? They shouldn't be forced upon an individual because, you know, you want something, because you want a feature. But that's just how life works, isn't it? Like, when you want something from somebody, in order for them to do something for you, they're gonna want something back. Now, that thing could be money, as it should be money. It should be. But a lot of these scumbags in the game, they want other things on top of money. And I feel bad that this is the thing, and that this honestly isn't going to change as long as this culture, as long as the music business, as music business, the entertainment field, as long as all of this is continually dominated by these people, that it's an open secret. They made movies about this. It's called An Open Secret. It's a movie. You should watch it. That this is what happens to child stars, but Open Secret is about pedophilia. But that's all in the same realm of what's going on in all of entertainment. At the end of the day, though, I mean, the first thing is, artists need to understand what it is coming into it. You feel me? You got to understand it, understand what these people want, understand in order, if you give it to them, then they'll promote you, you'll become bigger out here in the game. That's what it takes in that massive level. Understand it, but then also understand that you have options, especially in today's day and age, if you got the grind to do it. Pioneered by acts like, say, Nipsey Hussle, 2 Tech 9, people who dedicated themselves to being independent. People who go out here, never let anybody disrespect them, let anybody do anything to them, go out here, make their own money, put in their own work, get everything the way they needed to get it. They understand their value. Never let nobody take advantage of them. This option is available to all of y'all. But here's the reality. Individuals like Latto don't want to put in that kind of work. No, what you want is for this mainstream evil brand to change, where it's clearly not going to change. What you want is for pedophiles and people who will take full advantage of any option that they have over your head. You want them to change instead of you going out here and getting what you feel as though you need. You want the best of both without having to put in the work. And therein lies the reason why I don't have any mercy. You dig? Like, if you really didn't want to go ahead and give it up for an individual for the votes, then you could have just been indie and you could have fought your way up like the rest of us. Nobody wants to do that. I mean, it's a long, hard struggle that nobody wants to be a part of. It's the most difficult thing to ever do because, honestly, you gotta have a grind like none other. You gotta sacrifice like none other. But if you have the integrity and you not wanting to, like, do these crooked things for these crooked individuals, then you're going to have to shun the gifts that they're going to give you. They only give you the gifts of stardom, the gifts of a lot of money, the gifts of all of this stuff. You only get that if you're doing things for them. You have to shun them and shun those gifts if you have the integrity about yourself that you don't want to give up. You gotta have the hustle to build it up to the point that these people like, okay, there's nothing we can do to stop you. You're clearly the biggest out there. We want in on the money that you're making. That's the way that you go around this. You become successful in your own right. You make all of the money. You change the game multiple times. You stand alone. You come into that bargaining table with power. You come to that bargaining power like, look, I don't have to rock with you at all because I'm getting by just well enough on my own without you. I'm getting by. I'm making sure I'm not making multiple platinum. I ain't got that big engine behind me. But yet these hundreds of thousands going directly into my pocket ain't so bad. Instead of signing a deal that will leave me hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in debt to you, I'm gonna make my hundreds of thousands of dollars by getting my own hustle on and doing things my way. And then when you see my stardom reach so high that, okay, there's no telling how many millions of dollars that you are passing up by not giving me a legitimate chance, then they will come to the table. Then they will sign you a partnership deal as they did Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace, this great man who paved the way for you to be independent if you actually was following, if you actually studied the man instead of just hearing about it and wanting to say whatever you want to say on social media about him. You feel me? Like, you got to understand why individuals like Nicki Minaj is so, like, cutthroat and don't hear about nothing from no guy or nobody in the music industry. Why? Because odds are dudes ran this same game on hard. Like, you see individuals like Gucci Mane, who, I mean, maybe he didn't have to run the game because Gucci was the dude at the time, and you know this is the type of dude that Nicki Minaj is attracted to. But it wouldn't be shocking if Gucci and others ran this same kind of game to, say, a Nicki Minaj. And she probably toned down the vast majority of them. Like, hey, everybody's gonna try to run game on you if you're gonna allow people to run game on you. But yet, you got to be cutthroat, cold, on the level of what Nicki Minaj is in order to fight your way past all of this nonsense that these people are going to continue to push onto you. Now, the benefits of falling for it is you'll get your features. You'll get your tours. You'll get your record deals. You'll get all of that stuff. I cannot be a staunch supporter for what you saying, Latto, when clearly, in order to get to where you at this point in time, it would not shock me that somebody was successful on this game that you ran. That this game that they ran on, somebody had to be successful on it. I don't know. But it looks like somebody was successful. Like, you can't get into their game, get into that field, and then cop plea and be upset about these things that you made that decision. You could have easily kept it 1G on the underground, push yourself, but yet, let's keep it 1,000. Most female rappers would rather take the shortcut. And it saddens me to say it. Yes, it does sadden me to say it, because I want my female MCs. I want y'all to stand on your own. I don't want nobody to be abusing nobody. I don't think any of this is cool. None of it is cool. But the reality of it is, when you look at women in, say, the job field and just normal 9-to-5s, a lot of women rather sleep with the boss than work under to become a boss. Is this facts or is this fiction? A lot of women would much rather take the shortcut than actually put in the work to build their own. It is what it is. And when you take that shortcut, you want other people to have sympathy for you making that decision to make that shortcut, when you had the options to put in your own work. But somehow, some way, somehow, I'm going to be construed as the villain for saying the reality of this entire situation. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. You don't have to do. You didn't have to give up anything for these people for a feature. You could have just cut that person off as a feature. You ain't have to do nothing. You chose to. Now, given if you didn't, you wouldn't get what you deemed necessary in order to be successful, that goes along with the territory. But you ultimately still chose it. There's nothing wrong with being an underground act, fighting for their own and building your own until you get to that point where you actually can take your own. There's nothing wrong with being that. Y'all just want to fast forward past the grind. And then you want people to feel bad for you after you fast forwarded past the struggle, when other people are out here with more integrity who wouldn't. And I'm not with that. But let's go on to the last topic of today. The last topic of today, and you got to be kidding me. Bizarre, the rapper Bizarre from the group D12, may be the worst rapper to ever do it. And I'll stand on that. Maybe the worst rapper to ever do it. I put him up there with the likes of Vanilla Ice. I put him up there with the likes of whatever terrible rapper that you will ever put him up there with. He's right there with them. Like, Soulja Boy, just musically, is a clear cut above anything that Bizarre has ever done in his life. Bizarre may be one of the worst ever, but he wanted to respond to Pusha T's Arby's diss. Of course, a fat and sloppy dude is going to come to the defense of McDonald's for clout chasing. Of course he would do that. And it's funny. Like, he's saying at the end of the joint, like, yo, McDonald's need to cut him a check or they next. Really? Like, you can't even do the music business right. Just like you couldn't do your music right after all these years. Like, you've been around Eminem for a minute, right? That's why he was one of your boys. Not saying that Eminem is the prototype of doing business the right way, but yet he's done business deals better than this. You clearly didn't learn anything from the guy that put you on to the... You clearly didn't learn how to rap from him. You clearly didn't learn anything about business from him. You clearly didn't learn anything about anything. You've had all the opportunity being surrounded by individual acts that were super successful. You've had all of the ability to learn. And you're still making fundamental, really redundant moves that's not going to take you anywhere. Like, bro, okay, why is this not going to take him anywhere for any Bizarre or Eminem fans or anybody out there who may potentially watch this or anything? First, it's way too vulgar for anything that McDonald's would co-sign. Do we not know this? I mean, who has ever seen a McDonald's ad being not only vulgar, but being anything but middle America nice? I'm loving it. When Pusha T allegedly, which I believe he did, co-write the I'm Loving It jingle, you'll realize he didn't go all in on a diss song or anything. He wasn't being like super rap with it. That's not McDonald's brand. For you to be standing up for McDonald's brand in a way that McDonald's would not want to ever co-sign, why would they ever send you a check? What sense? What common sense? Where is your common sense? What sense does this make? Why are you doing this? Secondly, Pusha T got an $8 million bag for this. Pusha T wasn't just going out of his way trying to make a diss song towards them. If Arby's didn't come up off of $8 million and him giving them the details of how much they didn't pay him for their jingle, then you never would have heard any of this. Push and the Neptunes, who produced the joint clearly, they get paid for their work. What are you doing, Bizarre? You are caping and tap dancing all wrong and doing it for free. Are you serious? Are you serious right now? And the last thing, your diss track is trash. Like everything you've ever done in your musical career, if that's what we can call this. Are we going to call his career a musical career? Or can we just say an unorganized, trash, noise career that he tried to slap music on top of? Somebody that never really deserved the opportunity that he got, but you got it because you were around the people that show love to Eminem, to get Eminem to actually get him out there to LA so he could rock with Dre. And because Eminem wouldn't turn his back on his crew that he came up with, you had an opportunity. You had every opportunity to learn, to improve, to become better, to understand things out here, but you failed in every level of it. This is just so bad on every level. Even the artwork is so bad on every level. Somehow I should have expected it, coming from who I deem as maybe the worst rapper to have ever done it, because he's still trying to do it. He's still trying to do this. Bruh, it's pathetic. Everything about your career, Bizarre, has been pathetic. And the fact that you gonna come out here and tap dance for McDonald's, a $1 billion corporation that's probably on its way to $1 trillion by now? You gonna tap dance for these people, try to defend these people? Like, oh, the dollar menu saved your life? Really? Because it looks like cholesterol is catching up to you, dog. This is just entertaining. It's funny, to keep it 1,000 with you. This is hilariously bad. Why can't Bizarre just go away? See, most rappers, they don't retire, they just disappear because the music industry no longer provides them enough money for their bills. They have to go out and actually do things. Looks as though Bizarre just downgrades his lifestyle instead of just letting the music go, because he clearly, probably, and clearly don't have anything else better to do. Had nothing else, no other kinds of money to go out there and get, because he didn't learn anything when he was around the people he needed to learn from. Blame yourself, Bizarre. This is pathetic. But that's all I got to say today. That's all I got to say today for this Live from the Underground. Oh, what up, Julian Rodriguez? Says Eminem and the handling of Shady Records is disappointing overall. That's facts. Because, okay, I understand the direction that Eminem wanted to go. He wanted a lyrical record label with acts that he deemed quality enough to put on or whatever. I respect that. But when you undermine your own acts by only promoting yourself, like, sure, he may have delivered like one feature from time in and time out, but like Joe Budden came out and said that wasn't a consistent theme, that everybody on that label was everybody on that label understands that, yo, Eminem, when it comes time for Eminem to drop his album, the whole full force of Shady Records and Interscope and every label associated is going to be pushing that because he made all of that money. But yet, anybody that's signed to Eminem, you don't see anywhere near that kind of push, that kind of drive. You're honestly doing it yourself. You are honestly, if you sign to Eminem, you're just putting his name on top of everything, and you got to go ahead and carry the water on every level. Julian Rodriguez saying Corday got lucky, but his hype is already dead. That's facts. But I mean, I think Corday can have a resurgence. You feel me? Like, but that's a main mistake, man, that people be having. Like, you cannot sign to a rapper because you look up to that rapper, because you think that there's potential opportunities there. No. You got to get down on paper. You got to have in an actual conversation exactly what this person is going to bring to the table for you. If they're not going to do anything but slap their name on top and be like, oh, you're just going to be cool because now you're under my imprint. No, I need to see everything that you finna do. or else I can do better by myself. If you stand on your own as an independent act and you have everything going for yourself, then you're going to attract attention from others too. Just because these is the first people to come at you doesn't mean you have to sign that deal. And I understand the desperation of people, hey man, we ain't never had nobody for all this time. There's no guarantee that somebody else is gonna hear us. Ain't no guarantee of nothing. Sure, there's no guarantee. But there's one thing that you can guarantee, that every day you're going to wake up and put forth the work necessary in order for you to grow your own brand on your own. You can guarantee that. So until these labels come to you on exactly what they finna do for you, exactly how they can help you, exactly how being part of their imprint actually gives you opportunities, until they actually come forward towards you with that, then you can sidestep signing all of that. Now, you ain't got to do it. You ain't got to be a joke about it. You can still try to develop and continue to be friends with these individuals. Sure, like, it's all about business for them. So it's not necessarily a thing that, like, you can try to keep the dialogue open, but yet if they're not bringing anything to the table, but taking advantage of you and your buzz that you created, then there's no point in you actually signing to these people. You feel me? There's no point in it. Julian Rodriguez says Shady does not know how to promote artists. They do, sure, I think they do, but they refuse to unless they know that you're going to make a certain amount of money. And I mean, well, let's put it in this context. I don't think anyone in the music industry knows how to promote anybody, because promotion goes based on the individual. Each individual needs their own customized promotional plan. Just like how every time Kanye comes out with a new album, that new album has its own different, unique promotional tour, promotional everything. You feel me? He treats every album differently because that's how he promotes his own brand. Every artist needs a different brand of promotion. There's no one size fits when it comes to promotion. But these labels, they go in the direction of one size fits all no matter what. Why do they do this? Lazy. 2, they don't know what they're doing. 3, they don't care because they make so much money. Oh, they make so much money while not knowing what they're doing that it doesn't matter. You feel me? Like, when you are failing as an artist, failing as a record label, but yet your label still makes billions of dollars because you got the game on lock, because you're the ones who's paying to play all of the songs on the radio, because you're the ones who's paying to get all the festival acts, the headlines and all that stuff, because you are paying to get any new artist because they did whatever it is you wanted them to do behind the scenes. You're the one who's paying to put these people in a position that they can have a career. And how are you paying for this? You're paying for it off of the royalties that you've stolen off of the acts of the past. So it becomes a cycle of money flowing in and out of the game. That even though you're failing at it, you're not very good at it, you don't know what you're doing, at the end of the day, because you lock down so many aspects of the industry, you can't help but to make money. You've become too big to fail. Just like a bunch of these corporations and the housing market, when they mess up because they don't know what they're doing subprime loans that clearly have to get paid back, that clearly sabotage the entire housing market, that happened back in the 90s, that same thing is happening right now, but in China. It's like they didn't learn. And that's going to continue to drag down the markets all the way around. These people are not as smart as you think they are. None of them, across all the industries. Like, sure, there are select people that are about their business, that do know what they doing, that, you know, when they come forward and they do anything, that all the money follows, like Dr. Dre. Say what you will about Dr. Dre, he knows how to manage his brand. He knows. I'd much rather just not do anything for 20 years. But then when I pop back up because of my established career, I can do the Super Bowl and reinvigorate my buzz, my brand. I can reinvigorate anything based off of the right moves that come my way, from the Beats brand to you name it. He knows what he's doing. That's why he's deserving of all of the positions that they gave to Dr. Dre. But even Dr. Dre didn't know more than than Ice Cube. But Dr. Dre learned after Ice Cube exposed the fact that he didn't know what he was doing. Dr. Dre, the perfectionist as he is, applied that perfectionism to the actual business and being around individuals like Jimmy Iovine that can make anything happen for him. He played it smart after he played it dumb, but he learned. Unlike Bizarre. But that's my thing, man. Nobody in this music industry knows how to promote anybody. Because there is no way to promote people specifically. There is no right or wrong way. Each individual artist needs an individual touch. They need somebody who knows the game, who can come in and put people in a particular position, put them where they need to be, because they have knowledge, they have the connections, they can make things happen. They are good at promotion. There are very few people that are actually good with promotion in the entire entertainment field. Instead, people rely on this machine that is only funded by stolen dollars from all other people that they stacked up upon, that as long as they don't completely miss every time that they come out for maybe the next 5 years or so, it won't disappear. But now that, you know, the game has gone completely digital, now that like music costs a lot less to make and they profit tenfold now more than ever. They're making more money off of music now without actual physical units than they ever did before. And they still sitting on all the masters and the royalties of past great artists that never going to go away, that they stole from these people, that they're never going to get back. As long as all of this is happening, the machine is always going to be in existence, and it's always going to be the crutch. It's always going to be the reason why they will never know what they're doing. But it's this that provides the opportunity for the independent artists. You feel me? Because as long as the mainstream, they're like the McDonald's of all music, as long as they keep doing things in the same way that is not the best way to do anything, as long as they keep doing this the same way, it will provide opportunities for creative individuals who come up with their own ways, that come up with the next sound, that come up with the next brand of promotion to go through, say, TikTok. Like, the industry is just now catching up to, oh, TikTok is the way that artists have been breaking themselves. Let's go ahead and promote our own artists on TikTok. A good handful of artists was in TikTok first that saw the success from it. How is that possible? Because this label, all these labels, all these promotional places are so stupid, they can't see promotional gold when it slaps them in their face until somebody does it to the highest degree. And then they try to become part of that. You understand? So even though it's whack, we see great skilled artists like, say, Slaughterhouse get signed to Shady, guys that had the potential. They had a #1 album on tour, guys that had the potential to being maybe one of the greatest groups ever there was, considered to be up there with Wu-Tang, but yet the way their business was set up, not like Wu-Tang's, because they didn't understand the business at the time and still don't to a degree. I mean, Royce the 5'9" and Joe Budden understands the music industry to a degree right now. King Crooked and Joel Ortiz seems to still be just taking whatever deal that comes to them. And that's not a good look. And that's why Slaughterhouse ultimately seems as though that it's gone. If you guys seen the Joe Budden interview about it, like, oh, like the personal, when they started talking about, oh, personal feelings and, you know, it's disrespectful, everything that you're doing now, Slaughterhouse is dead and gone. It's never coming back. And it's sad. They could have been great. They was about to be something amazing. But some people don't understand that this game is about independence, building up your own, trying to do what you need to do as an individual, not being limited by the record deals and the nonsense that they're putting on you. Learning from your mistakes. Learning that, okay, if Eminem is going to do this to us, then we need to stay focused on every deal that comes our way. And if the record deal isn't exactly the way it needs to be, then we can walk away because we got a big enough name that we can walk away and we can revigorate our brand like Dr. Dre did. Maybe. Like, y'all not Dr. Dre. Let's not get that twisted. And I don't think that they honestly, like, they could have gave it a strong chance. I would have liked to have seen it, but I think they messed up the entire opportunity. You feel me? Overall, as you see through of what I just said, how all of these topics are connected that I've gave you today, the Joyner Lucus versus Machine Gun Kelly, where that's only happening because the record labels are in control of the festivals and Joyner Lucus is upset that, you know, they gonna put Machine Gun Kelly as a headliner when he clearly hasn't put out enough great music on the highest level in order to get that over a lot of these people that are within there. Regardless of how you feel about that, whatever. But the reason why that is because record labels pay for festivals to happen. They sponsor the festivals. They make them happen. So therefore, they're going to make whoever they want to headline, and they want MGK to headline because he is the next act that they're trying to push as a rock and roll act on Bad Boy Interscope. Latto being upset that these individuals within the game is trying to like smash in order to get features, and then as she's saying in there, like, oh, it's not just them, it's the management, it's all these people involved. Like, bruh, this is the way the game is built from these record labels that made it all happen. Like, man, as I said, Isaiah Rashad and the video that came out with him getting exposed and all that stuff, that was a video that he did in order to get put on in the game. It's clear as day because he's shouting out names. You understand? This is part of the evil system that these record labels and all that put together. So of course people are going to try to take advantage of what notoriety of everything, what position that they have. The same labels, the very same labels that are making sure the acts that probably did some things for some change, did some strange for some change behind the scenes, putting them on top of the headliners. Same labels. Which brings us to pretty much where we at now, where we was talking about, you know, these record labels don't know what they doing. They ain't got to know what they doing. They're so powerful that they control all of this. They silence people so much so that they'll make you do something strange for some change to get to where you want to be in the game. And when you get to where you want to be in the game, they'll have you headlining festivals. They'll have you signed to major deals that many people, your peers, will be like, no, you don't deserve that. You ain't been dropping quality music. You ain't been making the money that we've been making. These people in full control of the game. They do not have to. They don't have to promote you creatively, wisely. They could just throw your music out there as they say in the contract to the best of what they put into the contracts, which in these contracts don't really tell you specifically what they gonna do for you. So they don't have to do anything for you. And then they could just throw you away. Because where there's a Latto, there's another one. Where there's a Machine Gun Kelly, where there's a Joyner Lucus, where there's any artist, where there's a Tory Lanez, there's 1,000 other artists that's willing to kill to get to that position, that's willing to sign the record deals without any question, without even reading it, even with knowing for a fact that they're going to take full advantage of you, because we've gotten to the point now, like if you want to be part of the music industry, there's no way you can stay in your own little bubble and not know that everybody around you, from Meek Mill, talk about how he's never gotten paid for his albums or nothing, to any other artist out there going back, say TLC, sold millions upon millions of records, never got anything. Go all the way back to another generation. You go back to what's it called? Go back to Ray Charles. Ray Charles wasn't getting any money off of anything until he got straight cutthroat and got all of his masters straight up off of Atlantic. They're like, no, we can't even compete with what these labels is trying to give you. Like, go watch the Ray Charles movie and see the arguments that he had about money, because while they tried to not give him the money that he was owed. Go back to was it the Temptations? Yeah, it was the Temptations movie. The first record deal that they signed. It was like, they got a song on the radio and all that stuff. And the owner of that, hold up, I was gonna give you this car, but this car is under my name. All this money right here that I'm showing you, this is my money. That record that's getting played on the radio, I paid for that to get on the radio. Y'all don't own nothing, and just pulled off on them and dropped them. This is something that's been going on generation, and people still falling for it. You cannot be in your little bubble at this point no more. You have to know. There's too many individuals like me that know this. But even by knowing this, these people are so desperate and lazy. Like Latto, who you choose to have to deal with the nonsense instead of building your own. Instead of people coming together to create your own festival, you instead want to sign on to the festival without even knowing that the festival is financed by them, so they're going to put on whatever artists they want to put on. But then you want to complain about it and think that people gonna feel sorry and want to support you. No, you the one choosing to be part of that machine. For anything, like, you have to know the festivals are part of the machine. As an indie, you got to know this. You have to know this by now. The record, all of the major interviewing spots, for the most part of the machine. The radio stations who's playing the same 10 songs still to this day, part of the machine. You cannot get any benefits from the machine unless you are enlisted in the machine. Build your own, ladies and gentlemen. Build your own. But that's all I got to say today, man. I appreciate everybody who tuned in. Appreciate you, Julian Rodriguez, as ever, man. I appreciate everybody that's back there watching the playbacks, man. I appreciate everybody, man, showing love. We'll be back tomorrow with something. It'll be, most likely, it's going to be a short and New Music Friday. Probably jumping off tomorrow as well. Well, midnight. We'll see what drops. We'll see what's happening. But I appreciate everybody who came through, man. Appreciate everything. We gonna keep it pushing 1,000. Peace.